Forget everything you think you know about randoms because the truth is, they're OP. What is up, guys? My name is Ark, and today is a beautiful day to Brawl. Now, last night I was playing on my mini account, which I've been doing quite a lot actually recently, and I came across two of the best randoms that I've ever had the privilege of playing with. So a huge shout out to Julian and Draco because they did absolutely awesome. We got into our lobby, started talking after the games. They're from France, they're really cool guys. So I thought what would be good today is to look back at that footage, see why it worked so well, and also discuss a little bit about the situation in Brawl Stars with regards to randoms. Should you play with randoms? Should you not play with randoms? Where is there room for improvement to make playing with randoms a more positive experience in Brawl Stars? Without further ado, let's check out these games. Alright guys, so let's get into these games. As you can see, we're playing in Siege, which is a really strange game mode to choose to play with randoms in, because as you know, there is a lot at stake. If you lose, you're going to lose a lot of trophies. It's a really high risk thing to choose to do. So why did I do it? Well, recently I've been playing a lot with randoms. My mind is gradually changing towards it being a very positive thing in Brawl Stars and a great way to push trophies. Now, one thing that I would say is that there is much room for improvement, and I want to talk a bit about today the things that Supercell can be doing better to encourage a more positive experience when playing with randoms in Brawl Stars. We actually got incredibly lucky because the players that I was playing with chose really good brawlers for the right game mode, for the right map. That is, for me, the key to success when playing with randoms, and as you guys know, there is currently nothing to facilitate that in Brawl Stars. You can only select to play again, and if you come across good randoms, the people that are playing very strategically, very cleverly, that you want to team up with, that is your only chance to play with those people. And once you are playing and clicking play again, there is no option to change brawlers. That for me is a big problem, and I was thinking of many different solutions, and the most simple that I can think of is that after you select to play again and you've played, say, 2 games, there becomes a second option you can tick, which says that you're willing to go into a lobby. Then at the second game, you know whether your teammates are likely to want to do that. If they're not, then you know after 2 games that maybe you want to find someone new to play with so that you can change your team comp or discuss some strategy. Currently, there is not that option in Brawl Stars, and I would love to see there be something like that in the near future. Now, Kairos Time mentioned a couple of days ago the idea that maybe you could select maybe like 3 or 4 brawlers as a preference of who you would like to have on your team, which is a great idea. I think it works well in theory, but for me, there's a couple of flaws that I could see with that. I mean, one of them, the main one being that you'd have to have a player pool of players available at your trophy level, which are playing that brawler. Maybe not everyone is going to have Spike at the lower level tiers of trophies. So there's got to be either some limitations to that idea for it to be implemented successfully. But for me, I think the best solution is just to get you guys into a lobby. You know, get to know as early on as possible whether the people you're playing with actually want to take the game to that next stage and go into a lobby and discuss some strategy or change some brawlers, even change the game mode. You know, currently you're restricted to play that same game mode, that same map over and over, unless the only way currently to kind of be able to get those randoms into a situation in a lobby where you can discuss and chat and all that kind of stuff is to go to your friends list, select suggested, and there it will display everyone that you've had like an interaction with in the game most recently and prioritize those people that you've played many games with. That is the only way currently to be able to play with those people where you can be flexible around the game mode and the brawlers and all those things which help add up towards more wins. Unfortunately, this system of adding the random players that you're successful with via the suggested friends list is fundamentally flawed, and we'll go into a couple of the reasons as to why that is. One of them being the other day that I didn't realize my friends list was full. So I went to add the random players that I felt that I had a really good run with, and it came up with the message saying that you are unable to add them as a friend as you've got too many friends, but in that process, it actually deleted the option of adding them at all. So I would love to have teamed up with that person in the future, but the opportunity was then gone. I will never find that player ever again. The other big flaw with this system is that maybe those random players don't want to add you as their friend. I mean, it's completely understandable that many people like myself who have got a friends list that is full are going to want to be very selective on who they actually add. And just having like 3 or 4 games of success with someone doesn't necessarily warrant a friend request. What you need to warrant a friend request is rapport. That's really fundamentally important, and language comes into that. Being able to communicate is a massive thing when it comes to creating that rapport, that relationship with those players, and trust. You want to be able to trust the people that you're playing with, and it's a very difficult thing when you just get a friend request from someone that you played a couple of games with, whether do I want to add this person? One thing that I've seen done so successfully in Clash Royale is that following the end of like a 2 versus 2 battle, you are given some pre-written templates to be able to communicate on, yes, a restricted level, but nonetheless, some form of communication. Being able to say, good game, bro, you played really well, or, do you speak English? Would you like to change brawler? Different game mode? All these little things that would allow you to have something to be able to communicate with your other team. Or, I've got to go, sorry guys. That's another thing, is like when you're playing with randoms, sometimes after like 5 wins, they just don't want to play again, and there's no real kind of explanation behind it. A lot of the time I've done it myself, or which actually happened in this gameplay was that I accidentally pressed exit. I didn't mean to do that, but those guys that I was playing with were probably left with this feeling of, did I do something wrong? That, for me, is a negative player experience, and that is something that I really, really would love to see Supercell focusing on in Brawl Stars, because it would really change things up as far as playing with randoms are concerned. I'll admit it, for the longest time, I have been preaching to people, do not play with randoms, for one reason and one reason only, really, and that is because when you're playing with people that you know, that are in a lobby that you can communicate with regarding strategy, having the option to change your brawlers if things aren't working out, all of those things will absolutely equate to more wins. That is just the way it is. And I would so much love to see that same thing being incorporated more into playing with randoms, because as Julian and Draco confirmed, you guys have got some real skill. We were super lucky in this instance that Julian and Draco chose really good brawlers. Playing Mortis is a great brawler for Siege, as is Jessie, as is Shelly. As you can see, the results, they speak for themselves, but we couldn't change those brawlers at any time during the game. We were stuck. Fortunately, it worked out super well. All the time, it worked out. But it's not always going to be like that, maybe someone is just a little bit less experienced in Brawl Stars that you can actually then help to learn more about the game. And isn't that what it's all about, bringing people together and helping them improve and get better as players? That is something that would just increase so much more if these tiny little details had been worked on just a little bit more. And I would love to see in the next update some attention being placed on this. So the reason why I've been playing so much with randoms on my mini account recently is basically because it makes sense to. If I play with the players that I know and play with regularly on my main account with my mini account, we're going to get pitched against much higher skilled players. Those players on my team would have higher trophies, their brawlers would be maxed, level 10. My brawlers don't even have star power yet on my mini. So to keep the matchmaking relative, play with people that are of a similar trophy level. And that is what the matchmaking with randoms does. It pitches you up with people that are at a similar trophy level. It just makes sense that way. So when you're matchmaking, yeah, maybe you won't have a great winning streak. Say you lose a couple of games, so what? It's so quick to get straight into another game that it's very easy to earn those trophies back. Okay, yes, Siege is a bit more high risk, I'll admit, but for me personally, I felt quite comfortable going into Siege because if those players aren't quite as skilled, I can probably carry a lot of that weight myself. So I always choose a brawler that I know that I can kind of, if I need to, have to carry a team with. So Shelly, in this example, is perfect as a backup option. You know, she's very good at countering tanks, very good at destroying the cover for throwers. So she was a solid choice. That is something that I would always say, that if you are going to play with randoms, be very wary of who you pick. Choose that brawler wisely. Choose an all-rounder, someone that you can basically support your entire team with should you have to. But again, I would absolutely love for there to be some greater options when it comes to playing with randoms. And for me, the way to do that is that after 2 games, you tick a box that says that you're happy to go into a lobby. If everyone ticks the same box, just very much as if you are ticking play again, then it automatically sends you to a lobby where you can open up discussion. It doesn't seem to me to be more complicated than that. I was thinking, and let me know down in the comments, guys, if you would like to see this, is that we do a new series where we only play with randoms. I would love to show you guys, as I thoroughly believe that it is possible to get beyond 10,000 trophies only playing with randoms. So let me know down in the comments if you would like to see that. I think that would be a really fun series to do. But again, I have absolutely changed my opinion on playing with randoms. I think that it just needs a little bit of work from Supercell to kind of enhance some of its flaws. If you've not played with randoms, do it today, guys. Jump into a lobby. Try it out. It's honestly not that scary. What is the worst thing that can happen? You lose a couple of games and you go back to playing with your go-to players, no problem. But there's a good chance that you'll meet some really good players and befriend them, and you know that they're going to be active because they're playing the game currently, right? So it's a really good opportunity to kind of go to your friends list, get rid of some people that are inactive, that are no longer playing, and get some new activity into your friends list so you can play with good players on a daily basis. What can go wrong? But that is about it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. What are your views on playing with randoms? Has this video encouraged you to give it a go? Leave a comment down below. But until next time, keep calm, brawl on.